Hey folks, in today's episode we're back with more CCA Corner. In this one, we're answering your questions. Enjoy the episode.
Hey, what's up? We're back, baby.
Was that was that a Cole? Did I hear Ann Cole in the beginning of this?
I think that was a Cole.
Holy shit!
I'm on this one. This is gonna be a laid back one. It's Christmas time. I don't feel like doing a whole lot of editing, so by the way, Mal Cole, I'm editing that out. By the way, Mal and Morris.
Our producer's gonna hate this already.
You can't edit that out now.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah. We're not gonna. We're gonna make sure it's easy to edit. Immediately, fucking trips.
I was trying to read the outline and talk at the same time, and it didn't work.
It's harder than it looks.
This one isn't getting edited. It's just getting posted.
Yeah, just straight. Welcome to us unhinged, just straight up after hours, no edits, no nothing. Here it is, live in the flesh.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So where are we in? Where are we in the outline?
So what we're doing on this episode, we're doing like a Q&A. We're gonna talk about some stuff that's been going on. If you're on social media or if you listen to For Made Arbitration, you kind of already know what's going on. And I doubt that there's anybody who just listens to us exclusively. If you do, hell yeah, hi buddy, welcome. But so I don't know. I'm sure you all noticed that earlier this year, past several months, we kind of like trickled off on having episodes. And I kind of took a step back from like being online and being active and doing the things that I normally did. Because Cole and I got pregnant.
Hell
I
yes.
mostly got pregnant. He just held. And now we are, as of this week, we are 6 months pregnant. We're having a little boy. And because of that, I ended up moving out to where Cole is, and I had to quit the post office because there was no way I was going to get a transfer before little dude came along. So I don't work for the post office anymore. Isn't that wild?
that is really wild, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you guys, and to everyone who was asking me. Oh, I told you it wasn't my fault we weren't having episodes. It wasn't me this time.
Yeah, apparently everybody's like, yeah, Morris is a problem starter. And
Morris is unhinged. Like, well, yes, but that's not the problem.
No, it's because I couldn't get out of bed. I was so fucking tired. That's what it is.
Yeah, you have more important things to deal with right now.
Right. I'm growing and being. Let me be.
So yeah, big giant congratulations to you and Cole. I love you guys. You're gonna be great parents. I'm super fucking excited for you guys. But
thanks.
yeah,
I'm excited too. He's finally gotten to the stage where he regularly kicks me and we can feel it.
Oh, adorable.
Cole finally felt him the other day. I'd been being like, oh, he's moving, put his hand on my belly, and then bro would be like radio silence and just stop moving. And he's like, I can't feel him. We tried for 2 weeks to get Cole to feel him. And then finally one day we got it. The little dude finally kicked him.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you guys are Cole. Are you excited to be a dad, or are you terrified?
Yes.
Awesome. Probably the most rational response. That's great. From my end, I've been dealing with homelessness and shit this last year, and I lived in a tent for like 3 months, and I'm currently indoors, staying in an extended stay hotel. We ain't there yet, but we're getting there. I'm caught up on a lot of my financial stuff, and I'm actually in a place to set aside some money so I can get first and last month's rent and shit. So things are looking up. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this shit without you guys out there, and like Corey and like Steve and Nora and all the folks that were and Olivia and like everyone who pitched in $10 here, $20 there, and whatever. I was able to get a relatively reliable pickup truck, and I didn't die in a ditch because that was. I honestly I don't think I'd be here without you guys. And so I want to just say a real big thank you to everyone for that. Yeah. We're supposed to be having fun on this episode, so I'm gonna stop crying. You guys
Quit
are
that shit. It's
amazing.
supposed to be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I gotta, what our mental health episodes say, stuff those feelings down. No, that's not what you're supposed to do.
You squash them down with the squasher downer.
Yeah, the squasher downer. Yeah, I think Amazon offers those. This episode brought to you by having feelings, dude. Okay. All right. I don't know how to talk about this stuff without falling apart. So, moving along. Townie, we got Townie on the episode. Townie, you there?
I am.
Townie's going to be our designated question asker for all the questions you guys sent us. And we had thank you to everyone who sent questions from Reddit and Facebook and some direct message ones and in Discord and shit. So thank you guys for the questions. Let's we're gonna get to those questions here in just a hot minute. But first, let's do some fun facts for the past year for us and from Ada Arbitration. Thanks to the Spotify Wrapped thing. So this is kind of to kick off our end of the year thing. Let's talk about some statistics.
Yay. So first we're going to start with the CCA Corner specifically, because I'm sure most of you listen to us on From Ada Arbitration. But for those of you who don't know, we also cross-post onto the CCA Corner itself, like it's a separate entity, so that CCAs who are just starting the job don't get overwhelmed with Corey.
In-depthness, very in-depth. I get lost. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, some poor CCA tunes in to try and be like, okay, so like, how do I get my uniform allowed? We're going to the
What the fuck is an arbitration site? What is yeah.
If you check out this M document.
Right.
That's awesome.
So, for the CCA Corner, there were 19 listeners who made us your number one show. Aww. That's so cute. Thanks, guys. 85 people had us in the top 10. Cole, I think you fucked this up. It says 85 let us in our top 10 and 49 into their top 10.
That,
please.
Doing rough math.
Something about that math isn't mathin', baby.
49 into the top 5.
And 49 into the top 5. Okay.
Ooh.
Keep in mind, I'll give him a little bit of a break here. We made this episode maybe 2 hours ago. It's now 8:40 something at night, and he worked all day today.
It's the holidays. This is a low energy episode.
Yeah, and he's work assignment, working hours and hours and hours. So bless his heart.
So yeah, thank you for putting this in there, and thank you for these last minute numbers, Cole. So from Ada Arbitration, since y'all are the cool cats who hang out with us, we got the inside scoop there, right? Okay, so maybe it's not the inside scoop. We're recording 2 weeks before this episode is live, so maybe out by the time this episode comes out.
It is.
In any case, onwards. It is out.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
I sent the stats to Corey and he posted them immediately. So this is not new news by the time this episode comes out.
All right, good. Because I don't really know how this shit works anyway. So.
Oh, that was me. My bad.
Oh, you're good. They're just color coded.
Yeah, they're in bright pink for me, and I don't know. I'm tired too. The top episode of this year for Corey was episode 227, where he spoke with the one and only Mr. James Henry, friend of the show, your next NALC president. It had 11,600 listens across Spotify. You put all platforms, but it's just Spotify for Spotify.
No,
Wrapped?
it's all platforms. I added it all up.
Oh, you added it? Okay, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, because he added it. So
There you go. And then we got the Spotify exclusive analytics. 5,900 of you let Corey into your top 10 shows. 4,900 of you into the top five, and 2,500 made for Made Arbitration their number one show. So they're pushing some numbers.
for real, like it still blows my mind how popular For Made Arbitration is, and like you don't even think about it because it's just like, a postal podcast, but like it really is. It's insane.
Like the first postal podcast that I mean, I talked to someone else about this a little bit ago. Our national, since I was a CCA, in 2023, how many different iterations of a national NALC podcast have they tried to put out and just fucking gave up on to start a new one 10 months or 10 weeks later that didn't go
Right.
anywhere?
And then like the one that they have, they abandoned for like 6 to 8 months at a time, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we should probably do that again."
Yeah.
So 50% of listeners hit play within 24 hours of an episode drop. So like those are some dedicated fans on Corey. 8,300 people listen on Spotify, which is 38% higher than last year. And on Spotify alone, the total listening time, which I explained this to Corey because he was like, "Is that right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Essentially what it is, it's if you took all of the hours and minutes that somebody listened to an episode, like in each individual person, and then stretched that out over a individual person's lifespan. So
Okay.
on Spotify alone, there was 8.3 million minutes of For Made Arbitration listened to, which is 15 years worth of Corey speaking.
That's more time than I have in the post office.
Yeah.
That's a lot. All right, and so lastly, this is my part. I wanted to take this one. I stole it from them. I wasn't able to pull the total listens for the year, but I could get the total listens for all time, and just on everything excluding Spotify, there's 1.1 million plays on episodes. So I think roughly 50, a little over 50% of our listenership comes from Spotify. So I mean, double that to be, and then round up just a little bit. Call it somewhere around 2.5 million, 2.5 million plays on the episodes. So from all of us that have anything to do with For Made Arbitration, and I think I speak for Corey on this one, thank you to everyone for listening to us ramble on, because that's what we do around here.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, now that we got the what do they call it? Analytics? Is that what the tech bros say? Now that
Stats.
stats. Well, yeah, stats. Yeah, I'm more of a baseball hockey guy, so that works. That's a better word for me. So that's the stats, right? So now let's get on to some fun stuff. Townie, you ready to hit some of our questions and shit?
Oh yeah, let's fire it up. So first things first, what episode are you proudest of, or is your favorite?
Mal, you want to kick this one off?
For me, it's the mental health episode.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that one got such, how do I even say it? The outreach and the support and the people commenting and say like, I really appreciate what you did there, like to talk about this kind of stuff and to put it in perspective and put it in like a postal perspective. Even like so many people reached out after that episode and gave like such amazing commentary after it. And I don't know, just the response that we had from that episode was phenomenal. And I think that one is definitely my favorite for that reason, because I feel like we reached a lot of people with it.
Yeah, same. The responses we were getting from folk, I think it was an incredibly important one to do. It was so much fucking work. And like I had people who, I'm 41 years old, and like a dude. I had other dudes who, Gen X, elder millennial, and even a boomer or two thrown in there, who were like, hey, the way you guys talked about some of the stuff, it made it easier for me to be like, you know what, I'm gonna try to fucking actually take care of this thing rather than, because it is a big scary thing. Taking care of your mental health can be really intimidating, really scary. And I think, it was very, again, to echo what you were saying, Mal, like it meant a lot that like we were able to fucking demystify some of that shit and got that great response afterwards. Um, I think since that one was, I think I'll answer probably my favorite one to record then, because I think Mal and I are on the same page with the one we're most proud of. I think that I really enjoyed interviews and our roundtables, but I think had the most fun recording the cold weather episode, or not our last episode, but our cold weather one. I think we were just able to pal around, and it was fun. We had Townie there, and we were able to just sort of chop it up and make a bunch of stupid jokes, and it was fun to record and fun to listen to. So that one's probably.
I would definitely agree with that. I feel like I had the most fun on that one.
Yeah. So I'm going to be boring and I'm going to say the same answers because they are, right? The mental health episode was. It was one, and of course, y'all didn't see how long that outline just sat and sat and sat because we didn't know what to do with it, right? We just
add a line like once every 4 days, but it just kept growing and kept sitting and gathering. Yeah.
So I mean, what I do with these outlines when we get them, so like here, peek behind the curtain, if you will. Morris basically puts our outlines together, right? Because he's a madman and we love him.
I did one once, but most of the time,
yeah, no.
I can crank them out and structure them pretty good. But yeah.
Yeah, so Morris does our outlines because he's a madman, and then Mal goes in and I guess Mal and I and Morris, we all get together and we do a bunch of writing, right? We actually write our episodes, which of course we do leave a lot of space for ad libs. I know that comes across, but we write our episodes out because we want to make sure that the information we give is very accurate and is educational. And so it's not just us talking out of our ass. We actually have sites and stuff for you. Because the three of us together are not as smart as Corey, who can sit there and pull sites out of literally anywhere and everywhere, and he knows what he's talking about. We're just not that way. But that one just sat and sat and sat, and we kept adding to it. And then once we get something written out, we go in and we start pulling stuff out. What's extraneous, what's going to make this episode go too long, all this stuff. Right. And with that one, I don't feel like there was anything we took out. I think we really just made it a long one because it was so important. And genuinely, I am the most proud of that one because I know all of us we put our heart and soul into that one. And I can say selfishly.
Also, all of us got super vulnerable on that episode too.
Yeah. I really think the only thing that we took out was like we maybe cut down on some of the medical information. Like we tried, there was a lot more medical stuff that we had in that we simplified. But that's really the only cuts that we made to that episode at all. And most of the time we're cutting maybe 10 to 20% of an episode. And that one we maybe cut 2%.
Yeah, well, and Morris needs to get out of my head because I was about to say, like, selfishly for me, I think something that it made me feel really good in a weird kind of way. Somebody on Discord, I can't recall who it was now, but they tagged me and they said, thanks for being so vulnerable, and opening up about my own mental health. And of course that was all of us, but I don't usually hop in on these episodes because that's just not my role. I let these two be the stars, and then I just sort of help put it together and make it happen, right? I'm happy to do that, but
you're my star.
You are gross.
So anyway, that one, I'm rambling now, but whatever. I'm so proud of that episode, and yeah, like Morris said, the cold weather episode was so much fun to record. Like, I think it was just a matter of JT being here, Townie. I call him JT because he's my buddy, but uh, with JT being here, we had a ton of fun with it, and it was a lot of fun getting all the questions together and being able to, like, of course, some of the people that send in tips, we know and we're friends with, but it was like, oh, hey, there's my friend from here, or hey, I've talked to this person, right? And getting to kind of let you guys be part of the show as well. I was that was so much fun, and of course, we had so many just dumb little jokes that just got left in.
Yeah.
Now I want to throw it around on JT. What is your favorite episode of the CCA Corner?
As a listener.
Well, the hard part is I have to say, as a listener, the mental health episode, which was absolutely crazy, because I was sitting there and I was listening to it, and I'm just like, wow, for something that is for people that are just starting in the post office. The post office can be very mentally taxing. Just in life itself can be mentally taxing, but going to the post office and dealing with some of the things that just seem so super irrational, you're just like, what? Like, one of my favorite quotes I tell people all the time is, when I first started and I was struggling, I was on a route with so many hills, and then it was just, after you go through the hills, it was like one side of the street was like 3 stairs to enter, and the other side of the street, because it was still on the hill, was like 3 sets of stairs to enter, like 3 sets of 7 stairs to enter to get to the mailboxes. So it just got physically taxing, mentally taxing, and then you'd have overtime on top of it. And I had a supervisor once said, the post office won't give you anything you couldn't handle. And I'm like, oh, great, we're getting biblical here.
Fuck
So,
that.
so for me, like, to sit there and say, that was a perfect episode for someone that's ever been in that position, and just be like, God, can I really do this? Because when you first start, you get thrown on some of the sloppiest stuff and the hardest things. And the one that I'm proudest to be a part of, obviously, people, I don't know if some listeners might remember, I was part of the CCA Summer episode. That was fun because we got to talk about something that I was actively involved in at that time, and I felt I was making a difference. Now, some people that do know me know that I started in one installation and then I transferred to another. And when you're in a big installation, you go to a small installation, it's 2 totally different worlds. When you're in something big, you get a lot of burnout, a lot of call outs. People look to transfer to something smaller, and you don't get the changeover that you do at a big installation. So I used to always try to go out of my way to help the new people out. And, where I'm at now, it's less and less new people. So to sit there and do the the CCA Summer episode, and to be able to do the outreach and then be able to talk about it on a widely recognized podcast was exciting for me. Very exciting. So
Yeah, that was a fun episode to record too. It was great to talk to people actually out there doing work to support CCAs.
doing the
Uh,
damn thing.
yeah, doing the damn thing. Yeah, that was a really fun episode to record too.
All right, so should we fire it up and get some of the listener questions out
Fuck yeah,
there?
yep,
All
yeah.
right,
Before
so
we
let's.
before we blow any more smoke up our own ass.
So let's fire it off with Reddit. So just the Napper says cluster boxes, one at a time or open them all up.
So here's the thing. If you open all of your cluster boxes at one time, do you have the physical ability to guard all of those cluster boxes at one time from a thief or like some idiot coming up trying to get their mail or a child or anything, really? I mean, bats. Yeah, you should not be opening all your cluster boxes at one time. That's
Yeah,
kind of a risky move there, pal.
yeah. There's in my experience, if I'm able to control the environment, like in some of these apartment buildings, the mail room is its separate room, so you can go in there, you can close the door. All the boxes are open because it's more efficient and it's easier for me to keep my head straight
Yeah.
when I'm working. But like if I can't see all the boxes, or say there's fucking 75 boxes and it's just completely wide open. Also, like, I have no problem talking to someone who's coming up and be like, hey, bro, you're going to have to wait. Or, I have enough Spanish to where I can say that in Spanish, but if they don't speak English or Spanish, I can't really communicate that in a way other than just wave them off. That's stressful, so I'll just open a couple boxes at a time. You got to kind of you got to kind of play it by ear depending on the situation. But yeah,
Yeah. Like if you've got like an apartment complex with like 6, 7 rows of cluster boxes, I would say no. On my old route, I had sections where I had 2 cluster boxes. I would open both cluster boxes and stand in the middle of them because I can easily reach over and get that door and shut that other one, you know? Or there was an apartment complex that had the new cluster boxes where like you can actually, all that opens is the middle door where you put your arrow key in and then you latch it and it would shut. That one I would go ahead and unlock both of them, but I would only open the one that I was using.
Fair
Yeah,
points. Fair
so
points.
yeah, and I'll hop in real quick with a little bit of a contrarian view. My route, I've got a lot of apartments on my route. The majority of them, though, there'll be like 4 boxes on the front side of this structure, and then 2 or 3 on the back. What I'll do is I'll actually unlock them all, and then I'll leave them closed. The door will be closed, but they just kind of sit there closed. And if somebody comes up, I'll just explain to them, hey, I've got everything open right now. Give me maybe 20 minutes, whatever it's going to be, and I'll be done and I'll have everything locked up. And 99.99% of people are like, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. I had one guy try to open the door and I was like, whoa, what the hell are you doing? You can't fucking do that. And he just goes, fuck you, and walks off. So, like, I guess that could happen. It was the weirdest thing, man. Like, like, why are you so mad, bro? Like, just
he
wait.
is he is he is desperately waiting for a check that probably isn't coming today anyway.
Yeah, he got like
Um,
2 pieces of third class mail.
oh, oh,
He's got that Discover
bummer.
card ad. He's waiting for that bad boy.
Yeah, and on top of all this, if regardless of how many boxes you got fucking open, if someone's coming to fucking take the mail, they're gonna take it because you don't put yourself. You obviously talk to them and be like, hey, you're gonna have to wait, like that. But again, it's just the same. If someone's robbing you for your arrow key, your life isn't worth that fucking mail. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. So moving on to Unimasha 90 on a
ooh, good
LLV.
job.
Oh, did I do good? Did I do
I think
good?
you did good.
You
I
go.
think you did good.
Good? Did I do good?
All right, all right.
On an on a LLV driving route. A vehicle is parked very close to a mailbox. There's enough space for the carrier in an LLV to pull up just behind the vehicle and service the box, but now the carrier has to reverse to pull away from the mailbox. Is that the proper procedure, or should the carrier park and dismount to make the delivery?
I want this one and
Yeah.
I want the next one.
I was going to say Cole should take these since he's an academy instructor. So
Yes.
please go ahead. And
Lore
while you do
drop.
that, I'm going to go use the restroom.
So there's a lore drop for you. I've been doing that for like 6 months and I really enjoy it.
Nice.
Good.
So, yeah. So here's the thing, right? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're gonna find this in the M41, and I can't give you an exact site or anything because I didn't have time to look it up. But at the very least, it is one of the Academy slides that we use. So what you're going to do in that scenario is you are going to park and go ahead and dismount, right? Because you have that obligation to your customers to deliver their mail, right? Even though their mailbox is blocked, you still have an obligation to deliver it. In fact, the slide that gets shown in the Academy is in that situation, blah, 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 the carrier must, and then what we do is we have somebody read that point usually. And then this is more one of the other instructors, he'll do this. He'll stop them as soon as they say must, to say, whoa, 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 say that again, must. Whoa, 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 say that again, must, right? We kind of put it in their heads that you must make that delivery. So now you gotta take a look at it and you gotta think, okay, well, sure, I can pull up, right? And I can get the mail in the box. But now you've got to reverse to get out of there. Okay? Think about this, right? Can you ensure that in the several seconds that you're putting the mail in the box and dealing with everything, right? That a kid's not going to run up behind you, right? Maybe a kid pulls up on their bike and they want to see what's going on, right? You put your truck in reverse, you look in the mirror, but hey, you didn't see them, now you've backed over somebody, right? You backed into a kid. Now, maybe somebody pulls up behind you, right? And now you're completely trapped in. What do you do now, right? Any number of scenarios could happen, from kind of goofy to like really, really bad, right? So again, look to what does your LLV say in those giant letters on your dashboard? Morris, what's it say in giant letters?
Avoid fucking up whenever possible.
No, I don't think that's it.
Well, that's what I edited mine to say.
Avoid backing when possible. It's actually spelled correctly too. So
now think about it, right? Was it possible to not back in that scenario? Yes.
I mean, we're paid by the hour, and yeah. So what you're telling me, Cole, is that you can't just endorse that letter BB block box. That's not an official endorsement recognized by the M41. You're supposed to dismount.
Hilarious that you even said that, because literally in Academy,
that's the thing that comes up.
I somehow always get stuck with module 5, which is endorsements, and I explained to it, it's like, look, it's like learning a whole language, right? So of course they have their book they follow along with, and I think it's page 5-9 in the book.
Oh, I'm in 5-9. I know the instructor's book. Wow.
Fuck you! I just did it like 2 weeks ago. Piss off.
No, someone's gonna put that on the back of his baseball card. He knows that page. 5-9.
I think it's 5-9 that has it, right? Because I have everybody earmark that page. So then we do an exercise a little bit later on at the end of the module where they're supposed to identify, what endorsement you would use on a piece of mail, right? So I always tell them, like, okay, turn back to that page and let's use that. And I'll name drop him. Marty is a guy I taught with this past week. He brought up and he was like, hey, do you see anywhere on there BB? Just like Morris just said, right? Is that one of your endorsements you can use? And the answer, of course, is no.
There we go. Yeah, because it's because what you're doing, and we have another question about running that comes up. That's going to come up later. If you're not dismounting when you're supposed to dismount, it's unsafe. And then also you're not delivering the mail that you're supposed to be delivering. And then also you're shorting the route. You're harming the route integrity. And if you're passing every mailbox that's blocked, how many minutes is that knocking off that route for the day, right? You need to protect the route, which is something that you'll learn that non-CCAs know about, or hopefully know about. And as you get further on in your career as a CCA, you're going to start learning terms like protect the route. That's one of the ways you protect it, is you do the job by the manual.
Right. And there's a question a little bit further on that talks about, the postmaster approving for the mail to be held. If a box is continuously blocked over and over and over again, tell your postmaster. Be like, yo, these people will not move their truck. Isn't that right, Cole? They won't move their truck because of the basketball goal, and the kids got to play basketball in the driveway, so they have to park their truck in front of their mailbox.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. He has a guy on his route that does that. But Yeah,
You know what's annoying though is when people. I have one street that has BOP, and there's one box that it's always on trash day. They got to put the whole side of the streets open. They got to put the trash and the recycling right next to it. It's not over it, and then the trash guy goes, and then it flops all over the place. And yeah, I got to dismount it. It's just the way it
On
works.
on trash day, I add trash day to my 39.96 and give myself an extra 20 minutes.
So there's a on the postalproducts.net, I think, or like the public facing version of eBay, there's cards that management can buy that talk about like not blocking your mailbox, and it literally has a little trash can on it. So you can get your management to order those so that you have them to put in mailboxes whenever people block their mailboxes.
It's Notice 38.
That.
Nice.
Look at this guy missed a train. Notice 38. Put that on the back of his stat card.
No, I know that
5-9.
because I use them all the time.
5-9.
Oh.
All right. So a second scenario on the LLV driving room. A vehicle is parked close to the mailbox that a carrier maneuvers around it and is now at an angle where the front of the LLV is facing the sidewalk and the back is sticking out towards the road. The mailbox is just barely out of reach. Does the carrier turn off the LLV, remove the seatbelt, and then reach to deliver that address? Or does the carrier pull ahead and walk back to the mailbox to make the delivery?
All right, I want this one again. So I got a little bit long-winded on the last one, so I'm gonna make this one short, right? And because here's what I want to do. I don't want to teach you I don't want to teach you what to do in specific scenarios. I want to teach you how to think about what you're doing, right? And Townie's like over here shaking his head vigorously at me.
Yep.
Right? I want to teach you how to think about these scenarios, especially if you're a new CCA, right? Because you're going to have any number of scenarios come up that, sure, maybe you could phone a friend and ask, but eventually that friend's going to be like, come on, bro, you should know this by now, right? So I want to teach you how to think. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this from a safety perspective, right? Is it safe to leave your LLV, the ass of your LLV, parked out in the road like that?
Don't leave your dump truck of an ass of an LLV just out there for everybody to badonka-donk it.
Hazard lights aren't. You're not putting on a force field like whatever. People will still smoke your shit. Just because you have hazard lights on doesn't mean you can just drive like a lunatic.
True. And then the other thing you have to realize too when you're driving the LLV, it's like triangular because the outside is bigger, the outside of the back is bigger than the outside of the front. So even though you're sticking out even more because the back end is wider.
And don't even get started on the NGDVs. You're not going to be able to those things are long as shit. That's like you're not going to be able, that's like trying to do that with a UPS truck, bro. You cannot do that kind of thing with an NGDV once everybody gets those here in about 20 years.
So
Yes.
Cole, like when in doubt, just do the safest thing possible, right?
And this is what I teach in Academy, right? So there's even a slide that talks about...
Which slide is it? Love you.
I don't think it's 5-9.
No, it's not. He's so mad.
Anyway.
Wait, Cole's finally on an episode and you're just bullying. We're just bullying. Sorry, buddy.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
You are home.
Shut up. Anyway. So there's a slide, and this is what I hammer in Academy, right? There's a slide that talks about how you can have your door open, as long as you're going less than 50 feet or less than 500 feet, traveling less than 15 miles an hour. I skip that point entirely. I say, hey, this says that. We're not even looking at that because we're going to go above and beyond what we're even required to do, right? So that's what I want you to be doing anyway, right? If you're going to look at a situation, and you always think about safety is one thing you always think about. So look at a scenario and go, okay, so yeah, I can kind of angle in and out of here barely, and maybe I get within a few inches of this car or whatever, right? Do the safe thing. Just go above and beyond. Hop out and dismount because we're paid by. Morris said the hour. I'll do you one better. We're paid by the click. Every 32 seconds, you make more money. Every 32 seconds. That's not very long. We've already been going on this shit for 40 minutes. Think about how much money you could have made in 40 minutes to dismount some boxes, right? So anyway, that's my very long, short-winded version of that.
So one thing I do want to say too is the habits that you make now as a CCA continue as you become a regular, and then you're not even thinking about protecting the routes because you're already just doing it. Just the simple things. So I agree with Cole on a lot of that. It starts at the beginning and being safe and knowing what you're doing and looking at
good habits.
the
Good habits
safest.
now.
Yeah. Yep. It's hard to break a bad habit.
Yep.
All right. Since in both scenarios these routes are designed as mounted delivery, if a carrier gets hurt dismounting, twist ankle, surprise dog tag, etc., will they face disciplinary action from management?
Not if your steward's worth a damn. So, management has an obligation to manage. And in situations where somebody gets hurt, more than likely they're going to do either what in your region is called a PDI or an II. PDI is a pre-disciplinary interview. II is an investigative interview. 99.7% of the time, you're not going to get discipline from a injury PDI/II unless they can prove that you are being unsafe. So, like, if you have to get out of the vehicle and you get bit by a dog that you didn't see, how is that your fault? And all you would do is go into that II and they say, why didn't you look around for the dog? I did look around for the dog. The dog was there, and like I looked, there was no dog, and then there was a dog. Shit happens, bro. Like, what do you want me to say in that situation? Your steward will know how to defend that situation. And additionally, if they try to discipline you for being injured and like filling out a CA1 and getting workers' comp for it, that's retaliation. And that's illegal.
ASOV.
Yeah, so I got a thought on this as well too, right? Like, I can't sit here and say whether or not you'll get disciplined, right? Because that's up to your management to either discipline you or not, right? They should be looking at everything on a case-by-case basis, right? But here's the thing is, like I said, I don't have the exact site on me, but I'm like pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but like I'm pretty sure that your obligation to dismount in that instance comes from the M41. So if you're following the M41, they don't really have a leg to stand on, right? If you get disciplined, grieve it, right? I mean, you should be grieving discipline anyway, even if it's a total loser case. But if you get discipline from it, talk to your steward, grieve it, right? Make sure that in my office, I'm very lucky. I've got my management trained. If they want to do an investigative interview with somebody, they tell me, "Hey, I'm doing an investigative interview. Here's what it's about. Here's who it's with. Do you want to go grab them and go to your office for like however much time?" They're not obligated to do that. They're obligated to provide you a steward if you ask for it. So make sure Tony's holding up. What you want?
Remember, if you are getting pulled in for interview, you can ask for a steward and you want to have a pre-consultation before you go into the IIPDI. Even if you have no idea what it might be about, don't get worked up in there because then it all goes downhill.
Right. So, I mean, that's exactly where I was going with that, right? And I have the exact same conversation with everybody that I pull into the office. we're going to go in there, we're going to stay calm, right? We're not going to go in there and freak out because that only hurts our case. What did I say? A. So 2, we're going we're going to be truthful the whole time, right? We're not going to go in there and lie, because if they find out that you lied, now you're up shit creek without a paddle. And 3, we're going to answer the question fully, but be careful about giving too many details away that they're not asking you about, right? Don't do their investigation for them, because that's what they have to go on, right? So if they ask you, in this instance, hey, why didn't you look around for a dog? Which I'm going to say is accusatory anyway, but whatever, here we are. If that question gets asked of you, right? Don't say, oh, I did look around and, I thought maybe I saw one or whatever, right? I saw a dog leash, but I didn't see a dog because, okay, maybe there's an indicator there's a dog there. Something. Don't. What do people say about if you have an interaction with the police? Don't talk your way into cuffs. Don't talk your way into discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's the best way I would say to go about it. All right. So, follow-up question regarding blocked boxes. Is there a rule that states the postmaster is only allowed to hold the customer's mail if their mailbox is blocked for 30 consecutive days? This is what my postmaster is telling carriers, and it sounds like BS, because they don't want to take the time to go investigate and speak with the customers about their responsibilities with keeping the mailbox clear and accessible.
Morris, you want this one?
Yeah, I can take this one. So the thing is, I can't remember exactly what the language says, but I don't believe there's a hard number like 30 consecutive days. I think it's isn't the language like consistently blocked, I think is all the language is there. So it's not our job to make that call. It's management's job to manage, or more often mismanage. So don't take their responsibility. You're not paid their big paycheck to worry too terrible much about that. Only the postmaster has the authority to decide to hold or not. Carriers don't get to do that. If the postmaster instructs to dismount daily, then that's what you do, unless it's unsafe for you to do so, right? Which we already talked about some of those cases. The uh, what else was I going to say on that? That's kind of it, right? Like just bring it up to your postmaster, tell them about it, and like if you got one of them cool little signs that say "Don't block the box," we have some of those in our station. I put that in with their mail. I will rubber band it to their mail, so then they have to address it if they want to look at the rest of their mail. Most people are nice enough to stop blocking the mailbox. If it's a continued problem, talk to your postmaster or your station manager and let them make the decision, because you don't want to make the decision on your own and then get jammed up for it. You know what I mean? It's their job to manage or mismanage. Let them do that shit. Is that about cover it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like that's about as good as I could have put it myself. So, and not to say that I put anything great or whatever, because you heard the beginning of the episode where I screwed the intro completely up. So, no, well answered, I think.
I agree with you, Morris, on that. You don't not deliver mail unless it's a safety hazard. All right. And another one from Unima. Oh my God, Unima Shah 90. CCA is past probation, so I'm saying they're past the 90 days, and now being sent out to other offices. What is the proper procedure, forms to request to get paid mileage? Is there a way to do this on Light Blue? Is it time sensitive, or a certain time frame in which it needs to be done?
So proper procedure/forms, there is a mileage reimbursement form. I don't know the number off the top of my head. It is not something that can be done in light blue because your manager has to sign off on it, and then typically it gets sent to somebody in your district who then verifies it and pays it out. There is a card that used to be used. Some offices might even still use it. My office did not. It's the yellow card or the green card or whatever, the big long card where it asks for your beginning mileage and your end mileage. And in your personal vehicle, you're supposed to write it down. I drove 92 to 90 or 92,004 to 92,012 and back and forth. My office never used that because my postmaster and supervisor would just Google Maps the distance between the two, and we would just write that number on the form. Every office is different, though. I'm not sure if that's what every office does, but that's technically the right way that it's supposed to be done is on I believe it's a yellow card. I can't think of the PS form number. I don't know as well if it's time sensitive. I would assume that you can't do it past a fiscal year.
I think it's like 30 days. I think
30
that's what
days.
it was.
That
And
makes
the only reason I'm thinking of this now, I'm digging back like 11 years. When we got trained originally from I was in the station of Worcester, and Worcester had like an academy, but you also had to go to Boston. So going into Boston, you could you had to either take the mileage from the office or from your house. Whatever one was closer, you had to take. And then it was because I took the Pike, the Mass Pike, it was a toll road, so I had to submit my Easy Pass, and I got reimbursed for my Easy Pass, and I got reimbursed for the miles. But I think you had to do it within like 15 or 30 days. It says it on the top of the thing, on the form, whatever the form was. But yeah.
Yep. And then there's a controlling MDoc that talks about temporary assignments to other post offices. M01827 talks about CCAs being temporarily assigned to other offices. It's in the local travel area, so that's within 50 miles as the crow flies on an occasional basis. Temporary assignments must be consistent with the national agreement in saying that they can't violate Article 7.1c4 or the letter carrier paragraph. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of what that means. They should use volunteer CCAs first at a similar pay status and then go to reverse relative standing juniority assignment. So, like, if you've got 18 CCAs and they're about to start sending one out, and there's one CCA that's about to hit 40 hours. Okay, well, you can't send that CCA because it would not be the similar pay status. However, nobody wants to volunteer. Lowest seniority CCA gets sent because they're the lowest seniority CCA. Unless Jobo Schmogo decides to volunteer, then it would go to Jobo Schmogo unless they would be in a different pay status.
Right. So, with all that out of the way and everyone thoroughly asleep,
Hey.
You've been bullying me all night. Leave me alone.
Okay, fair.
With everyone thoroughly asleep, user the Rick 422 on Reddit. Thank you for this. Did give a couple of good links to things. We'll throw those in the show notes. Basically, their answer was that a grievance is the first step, and it's correct. And you'll notify your steward or president, whoever your contact in the union is. Of course, Article 19 makes all handbooks and manuals and policies valid and grievable. And then he gave links to CCA travel and assignment info, as well as mileage reimbursement info. So we'll throw that in the show notes. Go check that out if you're interested. So thank you to, I'm assuming your name is Rick. Thank you, Rick.
He was putting in work on the Reddit on that Reddit post. He was putting in work, so appreciate you, Rick.
You read that too early, my love.
No, I didn't.
Because
Did.
that's in response to if the postmaster is refusing to pay mileage, what articles can the union cite to grieve this? Can this be considered wage theft? And a claim can be made with the Department of Labor?
Then you do everything that I just said 2 seconds ago. Don't worry about
That
it.
Rick
Rick
said. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God for Rick. Rick's on top of it. All right.
It's 9:30 at night. Leave me alone.
Yeah, we're EP.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
true.
it's that's money that you're entitled to because it's a General Service Administration pay rate for privately owned vehicle mileage. It's a federal thing that we're supposed to get paid for traveling in our personal vehicles. It is wage theft.
Correct. Moving on to the Discord questions. Pixel Prowler. I have a question. If our fearless leader gets the CCA position estimated
I think
and
that's supposed to say eliminated.
eliminated, probably eliminated, and carriers start at PTF, will you end the podcast or change the change the name to the PTF Corner?
I'll take this one. We're pretty much going to be sticking around doing this in some form or another. I mean, I've decided to make the CCA. I've said this before. The CCA position, the newbie position, whatever form that takes in the next fucking 30 years until I retire or kick the bucket. We're going to be doing something for that.
Change
Because
the name to the Beginner's Guide to the Postal Service or some shit.
yeah, because like all the people running against Renfro right now, they're all talking about education, right? So like even if that happens and our education gets really good for our CTAs or PTFs or fucking Step B New Jacks, whatever you want to call the position, there's still going to be a need for some further explaining and something like this. I know Cole and Mal and I are super proud of kind of the niche that we've been able to fucking the amount of people we've been able to help and kind of give a voice to and empower and educate and shit like that. There's always going to be a need for that, regardless of what that position looks like. And I, for one, am dedicating my career in union organizing in the post office to trying to make sure that newbies coming in have a better shake than I did. Because, as you hear us all talk about all the time on this podcast, the whole, well, I had it bad, so you should have it bad shit is absolute dog shit. And I hate that shit. And I'm not going to let that shit happen as long as I'm in the union. So, yeah, no, we ain't going nowhere, even if we got to rebrand.
I totally agree with Badmouth on that. You guys, we got to keep this running because not every station has solid seniority leadership. It's one of those things where not everyone is meant to help out the next person and can teach and lead with the knowledge that they've accumulated through their experience. I'm not the most technical guy. I'm starting to get a lot better at knowing the sections on things, but I know the broad brushstrokes of the contract and the M41 because I had powerful senior carriers that would help me with things. Not every office has that. And that's where it was just so important for you guys to come along and to build this product. It started with Corey and Corey working into helping out stewards, but really addressing the problem at the earliest stage, which is the CCA in this aspect. I really appreciate what you guys have done on this channel.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
I had something that like you said something in your sentence there, your paragraph there, and it tickled my brain. And then you kept talking and I lost it. And I'm sure it was very insightful and something that would very much contribute to this conversation, but it is gone.
I mean, if it pops back up, you can always interrupt. We don't have an editor on this one.
Oh yeah, true.
It was probably about the senior carriers. And
I remember it.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna bring up the reason why the mentorship program is not going to work that well, and I don't want to get into the weeds on the mentorship program. I do not want to start talking about the mentorship program. We don't need to.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Let's not.
just a caveat.
We just did an
Let's just do a
episode on that.
caveat.
So
We just did an episode on that.
yeah. So the thing about the mentorship program, you get to these little bitty offices, like Townie was saying, where there's not a good leader, there's not a good person to educate people, and you put them into this fake leadership role, you're not going to get the education that you need. So having a resource such as the CCA Corner, such as For Made Arbitration, such as all of the other amazing postal podcasts that there are out there, it's a way for people to educate themselves when there's might be instances of, oh, well, I'm supposed to have this mentor and they don't fucking help me at all. You know? That was my point. It's back now. I remembered it.
I think it's a good point. Yeah.
I had a feeling it had to do with the senior leadership. I've like I said, I was blessed. I had very good leaders that brought me along. So moving on, Leona Doom Occulta.
Leo.
So at Mal, at Badmouth, at Cole. 1. What are your top 3 desert island records?
Should we just tackle that one first? Because this is a multi-part question.
Yeah, let's just do them one at a time.
Yeah. I was figuring we'd bang them out one at a time.
What do you got, Mel?
I want to go last.
Okay. I can hop in first on this one. This one's really hard, Leo. That's not fair. Only 3. If I got to pick 3, I'm going with San Quentin, the live Johnny Cash album, 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang's Wu-Tang is for the children. Wu-Tang's debut album, and then it's going to be a toss-up between Doolittle by the Pixies or Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B.
Solid album.
There's some runners up. I got to go with it. Tom Waits or fucking Dope Smoker by Sleep or the Replacement self-titled. It's hard to just narrow it down to 3, man.
All right, so I'm taking probably the album that got me the most into the kind of genres and stuff that I listen to now, and as a musician, probably the most influential on my style of music. I'm taking the self-titled Avenged Sevenfold album.
You motherfucker.
You literally asked me earlier, what's the best Avenged Sevenfold album? And I told you, it's not the new one. Don't even with me. Anyway. So I'm taking self-titled Avenged Sevenfold album for sure. Because I my favorites, and I'm gonna name my favorite song off each album. I'm gonna go one further because Brompton Cocktail is by far my favorite song on that entire album.
I love that song.
Yeah, I know you do. So my next one is going to be Ride the Lightning by Metallica. And I had a hard time picking this one, right? Because I wanted some Metallica in there, right? And I was like, God, is it Ride the Lightning or is it Master of Puppets? And I thought, what's my favorite song off of each album? And my favorite song off Master was Orion. Or maybe it was Battery. Or maybe it was Master. Or maybe there was so many on it, right?
Well, that's why you're bringing the album, baby.
No, I'm not. I'm bringing Ride the Lightning. Because of Fade to Black. One of my favorite songs of all time, right? And then I'm taking Posthuman Next Gen by Bring Me the Horizon. Simply for the song Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood. Absolute banger. So those are my 3. It was not an easy pick, but I made it.
Townie.
Right, now you're up.
No, Townie.
Oh God, so I don't really know much about labels and stuff. I'm not that into it, to know a record label like that.
No. It's just the album.
Okay, because I'm like looking at I'm like on the website now. I'm going through all these things, and I'm like, I don't know Desert Island Records. Like, I don't know what comes under that
That's what I thought it was
platform.
too. But I think what they meant was if you're stuck on a deserted island, what 3 albums would you want to have?
Oh, all right, because
This is
like,
this is a '90s kid question when
oh
albums
god.
still
So
came in CDs, guys.
if
This is like what CDs in your Walkman are you gonna have on a desert island? Oh my God, I'm so
all right,
old.
so this is gonna be difficult, and I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people because not a lot of people know what type of music I listen to. I'm very
I
guarded when
can't
I
wait.
talk about. I'm very guarded about what type of music I listen to. So it all depends on what mode I'm in. If I'm going like some type of instruments like guitars and like rock band style stuff, I'd probably go Blink 182 Enema State. I'd probably go Boxcar Racer. I think it's a self-titled album. The one with the I Feel So Numb, So Lost. So yeah, that one. And then if I was gonna go for a third one on that, I'd probably go the self-titled Blink 182 album. I was very much into the Blink and Tom and Mark kind of thing growing up. But if I had to listen to one and I couldn't ever change the 3, people don't really know this about me. I'm a huge ICP fan. So I would go Gray Malenko, Hell's Pit, and then I would go with probably the Wicked album by Twisted. So yeah, if people don't know that about me, I'm very quiet about
Give
that
me a whoop
style
whoop.
of
Whoop.
whoop whoop. Yep, because I'm a JUGGALO.
So that's hilarious you say that. The gathering of the Juggalos used to happen 15 minutes from my house.
Really? See,
Yep.
I've never been able to go because it's always been during prime time, and because they do it so early, that week's always booked. So I'm like,
Yep. It used to be in Cave and Rock, Illinois, and it was a
that's right.
fucking disaster. Yep. Cave and
Oh
Rock.
yeah.
I lived in Marion, Kentucky, just across the river. So you could get on the ferry and just get to Cave and Rock. Cole and I have been, well, I've been there, of course, but I took Cole there one time and we saw the whole cave in the rock. But yeah, that's where the gathering used to be, and it was insane, apparently. I never went because I was too young.
It was just seeing the pictures. I know people that go like every year. One of the dudes that I used to work with, he was like a janitor, and he was a CFS clerk, and he used to go every year. And I don't know how he got like, they must not do like forms like us or be as specific, because he got it off every year, and he would go. I'd see the pictures of it, and I'm like, oh, it's just
Oh yeah,
wild.
Madhouse. Yeah,
I love that we know that about you now.
yeah, same.
I'm so happy that I know that.
We
now.
got a townie lore drop.
I've known that for a little while. That's why when he started talking, I was like, oh yeah, I had to go on mute before I let out a whoop whoop.
Yeah,
All right,
I
babe,
love my
you're up.
clowns.
So, Leo, I hate to disappoint you. I could not settle on just 3. In fact, I had 8 originally because I went through my Spotify like artists and I was like, "Oh, I love that artist. I bet I could pick out a couple albums," and like would pick out an album, wrote it down, and I'm like, "How do I narrow this down?" I narrowed it down to 5. So, I think number 1, at least right now, is the Even in Arcadia album by Sleep Token. I am obsessed with Swamp Tonkin. I cannot get enough Sleep Token. I would love to just listen to straight up that album. Like my top 5 songs on my Spotify Wrapped were all from that album. It's bad. I Want to Die in New Orleans by Suicide Boys. Not what you would expect from me. I'm a huge Suicide Boys fan. The Sempiternal album from Bring Me the Horizon. I think it's like circa 2012 or something. It's the one with the big flower of life on it. Love that album. Obsessed with that album. Popular Monster by Falling in Reverse. Also obsessed with that album. I fucking love Falling Universe. I love Ronnie Radke. We're not gonna get into Ronnie Radke, but I love Ronnie Radke.
Douchebag.
And also I had the self-titled Avenged Sevenfold album because I think there's a reason that Cole and I are dating.
Oh yeah.
We could drop that lore.
All right, we'll do it in a little bit.
No, we might as well do it right now while we're on the topic. What the hell?
All right, so about what is it, 2.5, 3 years ago? No, 2 years ago by now.
Probably 2.
About 2 years ago, we were in the music channel in the Fermator Arbitration Discord, and I had been seeing this user around called Beans for a while.
That's me.
And I didn't know who it was. I didn't have any idea, right? But we kind of started talking one day in the music channel about music that we liked and our mutual love for the self-titled Avenged Sevenfold album, and how the Rev, their drummer at the time, was just a crazy bastard, and like our favorite clips of him and stuff. And then it led to one day I was out on the route and I get a DM from this Beans character who's like, hey, I got a question, right, about this grievance that she needed help with. And so I'm just trying to help her with it. And I just was like, hey, so just call me because it's easier. I'm working, like, didn't sit here texting. So just call me. And then we started talking, and then we started talking, and then we started talking, and then we started talking every day, and then we started talking more than every day.
Yep.
And now she lives here, and we're having a baby, and it's kind of crazy.
Yep.
So there you go. Lore drop for us. We literally met on Discord.
Yep.
You fucking nerds.
Talking in a
that.
Discord channel about music for like 2 hours. Like to the point where some of our friends were like, we saw y'all in that channel talking.
It was not 2 hours. It was legitimately 30 minutes. I went back and looked one time.
Well, it felt like 2 hours.
But you gotta have that connection with that person that you're with. It really, that's it, man.
We
That
finish
one
each
item.
other's sandwiches. Don't worry.
Yeah.
God, you're so cringy.
Yeah,
Please go to the next question.
Yeah, I gotta get. All right. What brought you to the United States Postal Service?
Who wants to go first?
I can kick us off since I kicked off the last one. Yeah, I moved down to Texas and needed work, and I was like, I need a union job, and I need a union job with good retirement and benefits, and so I applied at the waste management to be a garbage man, and the railroad, and then the post office. And the post office was the first joint that called me back, and my ass was broke, and I needed money. So I showed up, and yeah, then they pissed me off, and so I decided to stick around and be a problem. And the rest is kind of the rest has just been a blur of organizing and filing grievances and being a pain in their ass too.
For me, I was 18 and needed a job. Like I was a few months out of high school, and my dad's best friend is a city carrier here in Asheboro, and he started telling my dad, that I should look into the post office, blah 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 blah, benefits, retirement, blah 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 blah. Because I'm 18, I don't give a fuck about any of that. And so I applied for it. I applied to be a rural carrier in a neighboring city, and I got the job, and went through it. That was rural carrying for about a year, and wanted to be closer to home. So there was a CCA position open, so I came over and got that. Was lucky enough to go ahead and get that position as well. And then for the past 10 years, I've just been doing my thing, and it's been pretty cool. I've met a lot of really cool people. I met my best friend here. I met my female best friend, my partner, my love, without being all sappy, because we just did that.
Disgusting.
No, I've gotten to meet a lot of really cool people. Morris, JT, you guys as well. and several of y'all that listen, man. Like, this is cool. I never would have thought that, just applying to this job could ever lead me here. So, I don't know. It's cool. I really enjoy it, and I think it's a lot of fun.
Adorable.
JT, you go next so that we can just keep this order. And when you ask the next question, I have to go use the restroom again. So that way I'm last again and I can go do that.
I love the order. So what brought me to the United States Postal Service? Well, everything in my life was going wrong. I'm one internship from a master's in occupational therapy, and I got dropped in a couple internships where I didn't quite see what the not the instructor, because it wasn't an instructor, but the person that was you're under was doing, and I didn't like. It's not that I didn't like what I was doing, because I love helping people. I didn't like the politics of it, and I didn't like how it came and whatever. So that fell out, and my best friend, who I unfortunately will say, switched to the dark side. He was a rural, and he's like, you should apply. And I looked down the street. So he was my neighbor. The guy across from him was a postman in the city I grew up in. And then his neighbor, the son, the kid that was a little bit older than me, was a postman. So pretty much my whole street ended up that I grew up on with all like postmen. And I'm like, I guess I'm just going to try to follow suit here. So I went from out of college, not knowing what the hell I was doing because I didn't fulfill what I went to college for, to delivering newspapers, to upping delivering newspapers to the post office. And I must say it was life-changing seeing the path that I was on. I feel like I'm affecting people so much more doing what I do now than what I could have been doing, because a lot of the health field is controlled and manipulated through insurance, and you can't always finish the project you're working with that person on all the way through because insurance will cut them. Where here I get to see the people grow, and I get to see kids overcome different things that they do, like any type of adversity. So I feel like I'm really helping out like a community, and I'm a part of something. I'm a part of the community I deliver, and now I'm starting to be more a part of the carrier community, not only in my branch or region, but now it feels like I'm starting to move nationally. So, like, everything in my life was messed up at that time, but I found that, like, the post office was a perfect fit for me.
Nice. So, my story is I went to college at Murray State University. I had to drop out because I got a possession of marijuana charge. So I couldn't get federal aid anymore.
Breaking the law.
Yeah, well, that has since been expunged, so I don't have that anymore. But so I worked in Murray for a while and just stayed there, and then long story short, I ended up having to move back home. And my parents worked at this plastic factory back in my hometown. They got me on there. It was the most godforsaken, miserable fucking job that I have ever had in my entire goddamn life. Like, I'm the kind of person, I need to be providing a service or doing something. Like, before that, I waited tables. I was a bartender. I was a server. I was doing stuff that actually, like, provided something to somebody. Standing there and making sure that plastic doesn't have scratches or flash on it all day for 8 hours, standing on I fucking hated it. And my shift leader at the time was an evil, raging cunt. And she called herself that. I don't think I should say the name that she called herself. But yeah, you know what it is. Yeah. But I saw, I was looking at jobs one day on Indeed and I saw post office come up. I'm like, that's a good job. It's got good benefits. Fuck it. Let's try it. And my aunt used to be a clerk. So I texted her and I was like, hey, there's a city carrier position open. Should I take it? And she's like, yes. And that's what happened.
Cool.
All right. All right. So moving on to the next thing, we'll start with Morris, right? What is your favorite candy?
Oh fuck, I love candy so much. Probably Gushers or some sort of gummy snack. The Nerds ropes or the Nerds clusters are great. I'm 41 now, so I'm trying to be more healthy. So right now, I'm tearing up some dried mango slices covered in chili, which is a big thing down here in Texas. You find them at the like supermercados and the corner stores. So like mango slices covered in chili. But if I'm not having to, if those aren't around, any gummy snack.
Twix.
The left or the right?
Yes.
When in doubt, just go with yes. Yo, why when Morris said the dried tomato, the dried mangoes, I'm instantly said in my head when he said I'm trying to be helpful. I'm like he's having like frozen dried bananas or something like that, or banana chips. Like that's the first thing I thought in my head. I'm like trying to be healthy, banana chips. I don't know why. If I was to go with my favorite candy, I can go with gummies and stuff like that, but. So it's funny. The other day I was at a Cumberland Farms and I'm sitting there and I'm cashing out and I look down at the candy section and I'm like, God damn it, there's a Carmelo. I am a sucker for Carmelos. That to me, like no matter what, if I see that purple and gold wrapper as I'm checking out, I say in my head I'm like, oh no, and I grab it, put it on. I look down in shame and just tap my card, and yep, there it is.
Yep, that's how the candy. That's why they put the candy right up there by the register.
I'm like a little kid every time.
So I have a favorite chocolate, I have a favorite gummy candy, and I have a favorite hard candy. I you said Carmelos, and I wasn't even gonna bring up chocolate, but holy shit, Carmelos are also my favorite, like chocolate. But my all-time favorite candies, and I swap between the three, buying three of them as I like want them. Um, Hard candy is the round Airhead bites that they have. Those are fucking amazing, especially the white ones and the red ones. And then Jolly Rancher has those gummies. They have the sour ones, but there's a bag that's all reds. That one's my favorite for gummies.
Those are some legit
Those are those
answers.
are those are really good. I want to go to the fucking corner store right.
I know. Come on, bro. Why'd you have to do that to us?
Well,
All right. So, favorite holiday and why, Mr. Morris?
I'm probably just because like since I moved to Texas, all I do is fucking organize. Like it's pretty much all I do. I used to have hobbies. So I'm gonna say May Day because May Day or Labor Day specifically because like all of my friends are basically in the organizing spaces, and like that's a way where we're all still like doing organizing shit, but we can have a couple beers while we're doing it and actually kind of celebrate instead of just constantly be fighting the man somewhere. So whether he's the man at your company or the man at someone else's company, or you know what I mean, like it's kind of a day to actually like all my buddies are already there. That or Thanksgiving, problematic or not, I just love to fucking eat. So
Oh, I guess it's me now, isn't it?
that is the order, yes.
I wasn't prepared for this question or the next one. So yeah. I think it's Christmas. I guess I really like Christmas. I like it a little bit less now that, I'm an adult and I work at the post office and I work so many fucking hours during Christmas. But I do still really like Christmas. I like being able to see my family and everybody getting together and, having an excuse. That or I'm with Morris Thanksgiving because I like to eat and it's delicious and stuffing is my favorite.
Just wait till 2 Christmases from now and we have a little dude opening presents and getting excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Wu Tang, Christmas is for the children. So like I think that's gonna change once you got kids, like because that sounds super. It doesn't sound as much fun as an adult without kids as it does like having little ankle biters running around.
Yeah, like Christmas kind of sucks as you like grow up because as a kid, like I got so much presents and then they just slowly dwindled away into nothing. And I guess that makes me a little bit materialistic, but
Bro, I don't even care about the presents, bro. Like, yeah, obviously I like getting stuff because it's like dopamine, but I don't even care about that, bro. Like, I just kind of like Christmas. I like Christmas time. I like when it snowed. Like, it snowed today, and I was so excited. And JT's over here looking at me like, "Yeah, it snows all the time up here. Shut up. You're in the Northeast.
No,
I'm in
no.
the
Think
South,
once
bro."
I once I moved down to Rhode Island, it's so wild. So when I was commuting to Worcester, I'd be on like 146 on the way up, and you would see it go from rain to sleet to snow, and it would just kind of like go up like a roller coaster on the side of the roads. You're like, oh, I'm going into hell. Oh yeah.
No, if it snowed today, I was
Oh.
so excited, bro. I love the snow.
I was down in DC one year for Christmas with my aunt, and it snowed, and then it snowed the whole day, and the next day we woke up and there was absolutely nothing, and I'm like, how is this possible? It's wild. You don't have to shovel? Oh, it was exciting.
Yeah,
So
it
if I,
snows down here like twice a year, but it's like just long enough to throw a snowball at the neighbor's dog, and it's melted by lunch. I don't know.
it's
I hate the
beautiful.
cold. I love snow.
Yeah, but that's not, you don't have to manually labor shovel that or throw salt down.
oh, we did in
Um,
Kentucky.
yeah, Kentucky gets that ice. So if I was to say my favorite holiday, mine was always Thanksgiving. I'd say Thanksgiving it was family and football and it was just good. And that was one of my favorites and then if I one the one that's growing on me now even more is the it's an argument now whether it's Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. Either way, whatever you call it, here we have something called the Autumn Festival, and they just close down the park, and they have a giant beer tent, and they have people that do live music. So it's like 3 days of this live music in a beer tent that the city hosts. So I was like, that's kind of a sweet little gig.
Well, mine has always and even with the negative connotations will be Halloween. The negative connotations is because my ex-husband and I got married on Halloween, but fuck him. I still love Halloween. It's not ruined because Halloween is dope and I love spooky season. So, yeah.
I like it.
Halloween's a
I
lot of
like it.
fun.
She
Yeah,
likes spooky season so much. We moved her the first week of October, and within literally a week of her being here, my house was decorated for Halloween.
Yes.
Halloween was super fun this year. I'm not gonna lie with my son was all into it. Just wait. Oh, just wait. I played Thriller in the car one time, and that's what he's been singing for like a month straight. It's great. It's great. All right, so the last question from Leona. You can meet one person in all of history. Who is it and why?
This one took me a long time to figure out. I think probably Mother Jones, who was a she was an Irish immigrant and the labor organizer. She was one of the co-founders of the IWW, and she was just a very quotable old lady who'd show up at strikes and union and like helped the labor effort, like help the fight against child labor and stuff. I think and she was at one time dubbed the most dangerous woman in America. She got arrested all the time. She was very quotable. There was, and the reason why her, as opposed to like other labor leaders or historical figures and shit, is aside from showing up to like punt baby Hitler, which I know is like the popular answer. I just want to talk to her because she was like super dope and all this stuff, but then the Battle of Blair Mountain, she wanted to like convince people to go home. And that was like completely in the face of like everything else she had done before that. And like afterwards, she suffered a mental breakdown and shit. And I just kind of want to ask her about that. Like, why the fuck did you choose to do this like right now? Yeah, that type of thing. So, because I mean, if you study your labor history, no matter how militant it is, uh, almost every one of the heroes has something a little bit problematic, or like there's no one's perfect. And I kind of want to ask her about that shit. That's a very nerdy answer, but that's the one. If that's too nerdy for you, punching baby Hitler.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this one at all. Mostly because like I don't really care about celebrities or historical figures or anything like that. But if I was gonna pick one, there's a guy called Kevin Mitnick. He's still alive, but um, he was like a very famous like phone freaker back in the 90s, like 80s and 90s, and he wrote a few books, and I absolutely love his books, and I'd love just to sit down and just like talk to him and understand like the way he thinks. If you haven't ever heard of him, which you probably haven't, look up his books. His one is like an autobiography called The Ghost in the Wires. Absolutely recommend that one. It's fantastic.
I
Yeah,
know
I'd love to sit down
some of
and
my techie buddies. I know I've heard them talking about them. I don't know that much about them, but
JT.
Oh, bro, there's so many people. But like, if I had to pick one, ooh, that's a tough call. That's between like Mark Twain. That's gotta be between like Deacon Jones, uh, or right now. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one, and this is just because of what's going on right now for all of us. I never got the chance to meet him. I've only heard of him, and he was pretty much going down. I think he died before I even got into the post office, or right around. It'd probably be Vincent Zimbrato, and ask him what he thinks we could do to be an even stronger community than what we already are right now as letter carriers. I think that's what I would go with right now at this exact moment in time. I'd have to go with Vincent Zimbrato.
So I am a lot like Cole in more ways than one. Specifically that I don't give a shit about celebrities for the most part. So I started to rack my brain of like historical figures and people in the past, and I'm like, I don't know. So the person that came to mind is my grandmother, because my grandmother had passed before I was able to meet her. Apparently she was, I doubt my family will listen to this, but to put it lightly, apparently my grandmother was a hot mess. But I still would like to know who she was. And for a lot of reasons, the family members who were alive during the time that my grandmother was do not talk about her very often. And up until recently, I didn't even know what she looked like. You know, I went and helped my aunt clean her house and found a bunch of pictures of my grandmother. And I, never knew. I've heard a few stories here and there, but I would have liked to have met her, and it's a shame that I didn't. My grandmother, and I did meet my grandfather, and I did know my great grandmother. But I have a weird special interest in like genealogy and family trees and tracking and that kind of stuff. So that stuff is like insanely interesting to me. So I find that stuff neat, and I think it'd be my grandma.
I like that answer. I was gonna say it's always good to meet people that started your lineage or were part of your lineage and what you know what I'm saying, what made you.
Right.
I like that. That's a good answer. All right, so we're gonna move on to Facebook. So we're gonna start with Mallory. What is the best Christmas movie?
And why?
I got it.
And why? Why is it the animated version of The Grinch?
Well, it's not. It's Christmas Vacation.
It's
so
not.
Get bent, loser.
Shut up, scrub.
I'm gonna let Badmouth go before me.
I wasn't about to get into. I wasn't to get into the Christmas household's Christmas beef. I'm gonna go with Batman Returns. Because it's all super Christmas, and then you also get Danny DeVito being an insane person, and Christopher Walken being a Christopher Walken, and it's fun, and like you get fucking Batman villains dressed up as Christmas characters while they're doing over the top fucking comic book silly shit. It's just a fun movie, and it's not one that I have seen. I've seen it dozens of times, but I haven't seen it a trillion times like some of the other Christmas movies. So that's the one I'm gonna go with. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I think Die Hard counts as a Christmas movie, or at least it counts enough to where I'm not going to argue with someone who's really adamant about it. In the same way, someone brought up Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie because the Fellowship leaves on the 25th. I was like, okay, any excuse to watch the Lord of the Rings, I approve of. I'm not going to I'm not going to die on that hill, but yeah.
Harry Potter's a Christmas movie because there's a fucking Christmas scene in half of them. Like,
There you go. I think one of the Aliens movies is maybe it was supposed to take place on Thanksgiving. Maybe it's Thanksgiving. I
Is it
can't remember.
Independence Day, maybe?
Maybe. I thought that was a 4th of July movie, though.
Yeah, it's the 4th of July movie. No. When you were saying aliens, God. So I have to refer to my profile picture right now, the one with Sinbad in it, where he's a postal worker.
Jingle all
and
the
I'm
way.
going to say Jingle all the way.
Fucking
That's
Turbo Man.
That was one of the most underrated Christmas movies because all the ones that you guys mentioned are like top, and I feel like Jingle All the Way doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And I was having a conversation with my rover the other day, and he was laughing about how I changed it over to Sinbad in the face, like, ooh, I'm like, oh, that's the face that when you walk in, you see how many parcels you have. That's the face you make, is the ooh face that he does. And we were talking about it, and he goes, if you go back and watch that, working at the post office, like, Sinbad actually encapsulates what the postman is like. He doesn't have the time to go get the toy for his kid. So now he's on Christmas Eve trying to search and get the toy because he's been working all the hours.
He's in uniform on his 10-minute breaks. He's hit his scanner on like a remote control fucking RC car or some shit.
Yep. All right. Trayman Smith says, so what's the definition of running?
I just want to give a shout out to Tremont Smith. He's my ODI. He's out of my station. That dude's dope. So I know we had talked about it off mic a little bit. Cole, I don't know if we want to get to. I know we're going long, but for me, it's cutting any corners to save time, or whether it's out of being lazy or to get back to the station faster. If you're not filling your vehicle full of fuel, if you're skipping if you're not, if you're just endorsing blocked box on your mail, like we talked about earlier, which is not a real endorsement. Get out and put it in the mailbox. If you're physically running, I don't know why you'd be doing that, you crazy person. But like if you're not taking your breaks, I'm a very active, wound up person. I don't sit still very well. I got to set timers on my breaks, or I will accidentally run because I'll just smoke a cigarette and then be back on my way. That was only 5 minutes. That wasn't 10. So I got to set an alarm. Yeah, I don't know. If you're cutting
So
corners, whether that's with safety or not, just to save time, that's kind of running. There's not a real hard definition.
yeah, that was like a pretty good way. Basically, when we were pre-show talking about it, we were going through these and just kind of getting a general idea for the feel of the questions, and I started talking long-winded as I do, and Mal started summarizing what I was saying. She wrote skipping breaks, skipping lunch, cutting corners, being unsafe to go faster, taking shortcuts, skipping mailboxes because they're blocked, not curbing parking, braking, taking. Anything that you're doing to speed yourself up that you're not supposed to be doing is what I would call running.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is we get into the mode of not doing proper route maintenance either. So I think not even doing route maintenance is a form of running without realizing that it's running.
Damn, gonna call me out like that,
Yeah,
huh?
that's a yeah. If your
Oh,
red book
bro.
has collected dust, that wouldn't be. I wouldn't have thought of that as running, but yeah, with the same principle, yeah, might as well.
If you're shoving mail into that box that has been full for entirely too long instead of pulling it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a form of running that people don't think about. I've started teaching a lot of the guys at our station how to, they just UTF the mail, and I tell them, do the simple thing of doing the move left no address. All right, moving on to Aaron Jones. In 1993 movie Poetic Justice, Tupac Shakur played a smart-ass mailman. If it was remade today, who would you cast in his role?
Uh,
Let me go ahead and say I am uncultured swine and I've never seen this movie, so sorry.
Second that.
it came out in '93. I haven't seen it in like fucking 30 years. For a little bit of context, he's always hitting on Janet Jackson's character Justice, who is a poet. So, I mean, if you know the movie, I don't think you can pick anyone other than Donald Glover, right? Like charming, sweet mailman who's a little bit who's funny and whatever. I don't think you can do better than Donald Glover on that one.
Donald Glover would play a really good, suave mailman in a movie.
Yeah, he's funny, he's charming, a little bit of a dork. Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
AJ, I love you, buddy, but I've never seen it, so I'm gonna defer to what Morris said for this one.
Yeah, we're gonna go with old it's Chance the Rapper that Donald Glover is, right?
no,
That's
that's
Childish
Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
So yeah. Childish Gambino for sure.
You know, maybe I'll make that a homework assignment for me, and I'll have to go back and watch that movie. I'm not a big movie buff,
I'm not either.
so
Yeah, I haven't seen it in 30 years. After I saw that question, I was like, "Fuck, I gotta figure out where this is streaming." But yeah,
I didn't exist when this movie came out.
I am so old.
I was either 2 or 3 when this movie came out.
Yeah, I didn't come along until 3 years after, and
All
then
right, we're
Cole came
moving.
out
We're
4
moving
years
on to the
after.
next question. We're moving on to the next question.
There's no more questions though.
Oh, there's no more questions.
Yeah,
Was that okay? All right.
we
I
did
think.
it.
Hold on. Where's the outline? Pa, 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 pa.
He's lost.
Yeah, I'm lost. I normally print these out, but we wrote this like right before. Okay, so I wanted to talk about. We did get some other questions that because I mean, if any of you follow me on social media or whatever, I can be kind of a uh, kind of a
Lunatic.
loudmouth. Yeah, lunatic. That works. I've been called worse, and
It's hipster.
more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We some questions were political in nature. I have made a very conscious choice to keep politics out of the CCA corner. Right. This is about. We're very proud of the work we do to like educate and empower people. If you have questions about politics or want to like fucking be a troll or whatever, I'm not shy about that shit on social media, or if you get a hold of me directly. I might not necessarily be entirely nice with you sometimes, but like we keep that shit out of here. If like I do some shit talking and like talk politics and stuff, that's my social media. If that's what you're into, we can talk about that shit there. It's not going to be on the CCA corner. This is about empowering and educating our newbies, regardless of political stripe. But yeah, if you want some, if you want the unhinged nonsense, find me on social media. Okay. That's
Yep.
all I want. I didn't want you to think we were like leaving out those questions because we didn't want to tackle them. I can be a complete bastard on social media. I'm not going to bring that here.
All right. So, some of you have probably noticed that JT has been on for a few episodes now, and that's not by accident.
Yeah.
So the CCA corner is changing a little bit, and we're going to talk about that just to wrap this up. What's coming up next for us? So I'm going to let Mal take this one and talk a little bit about what some of the changes are.
So, me being pregnante with Babby, and having to quit the post office, I am no longer a USPS employee. And while I do have a fairly decent breadth of knowledge regarding postal policy and handbooks and manuals and stuff like that, there will come a time where I am no longer in the loop and where I am no longer seeing what everybody else is seeing. I will no longer be up to date on current events. I'll kind of be like a retiree, only I never retired. So my question then becomes, is it relevant for me to be a host of the CCA Corner when I'm not even present to understand the trials and tribulations of letter carriers? And the answer to that is no. So, for that reason, because I am now selling death and death accessories,
What do you
I
work
work
for
for
Raytheon?
no, I work for a cemetery.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. So you're on the other end of the Raytheon missile.
I think
Yeah,
Um,
that
I mostly sell the accessories.
all right, sorry. I just
I
got done saying
I
I wasn't going to get political. I'm going to shut up now.
I think the best part about that is that just kind of goes along with the spooky season and favorite holiday. Just to tie it
Yeah.
back to the questions.
So fucking we got Morticia Adams over here.
Yeah. So, because of the situation that I am now in, the fact that Cole and I are starting a family, I don't work for the post office, I have decided that I am going to step back as the co-host of the CCA Corner. This decision was not made lightly, and it is a decision that we thought about for a while. I think we brought it up probably a couple months ago and have just been sitting on it and figuring out what we're going to do. We brought Townie on to, show him the ropes, make sure this is something that he wanted to dedicate himself to, make sure that he was a good fit with Morris. And we think that this is definitely the direction that we need to go. Townie, I have so much respect for you, and I think that you have a great breadth of knowledge that will be essential for new employees. And you bounce off Morris very well, which is a critical part of being the co-host of the CCA Corner, is trying to balance the Morris.
There's the in Muppets, like you got Gonzo and you got Fozzie Bear and Kermit. You got Miss Piggy and Kermit. You got Beaker and fuck, what's the little green guy's name? You need to like straight man and the crazy person. You can't have too much crazy or too much whatever. And Mal, you you have been yeah. I remember you came on to help because I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do this just by myself. So you just came on to like you were gonna come on one episode to where like we could bounce stuff off each other, and then it was like, hey, dude, do you
Yeah.
want to just like, help all the time?
Yeah, we were like, yo, this
And
works. This is something. Like,
yeah, no, and like I could not. I've never done any of this without you or you and Cole, and like yeah, I like just us fucking trying to figure out you coming on to help that one time. It was like yeah, it'd be stupid to not just do this all the time.
and I'm
I
not,
love you, dude. I really appreciate you.
I love you too, buddy. And I'm not gone forever. That's the thing, like my partner is still a mail carrier involved, like heavily. I'm still doing the Formate arbitration website whenever I finally decide to get caught back up on that. I'm still going to be involved with the CCA Corner. I might still come on occasionally. I don't know.
Hell yes.
If you still want me to, sure. I know for sure I'll be doing some of the ads. So,
Oh yeah.
to those. But I'll still be here in some capacity. I can't, with good conscience, continue to be a co-host for a podcast about a job that I am no longer fully involved in. It just doesn't seem like the right move, and it doesn't seem advantageous to the content of the podcast. Plus, I'm not going to really have time to be planning out episodes and shit with newborn. So,
Yeah. No, dude, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you said you're gonna stick around and like help out and like show up and guest because I know everyone who listens to this, everyone fucking adores you. They tolerate me most times, but they adore you, bro. So I appreciate. I'm really so thankful that you're gonna be able to pop back in every now and then. Yeah, and then Tony, welcome aboard, buddy.
Thank you guys. Thank you
Whoop,
guys.
whoop.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing now. Woo woo.
Officially
No, I
the
mean,
co-host now, right?
I guess if that's what they want to call me, yeah, I'll be the co-host as long as he's the main host. We'll go with
Oh,
it. The
dude.
main host.
I'm there. Well, I'm not going to get into politics. I don't like being anyone's boss. I'm not a boss. That's never going to happen. We're working together on this page.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'll ever live up to how you guys started it or handled it. I'm just trying to keep the ball rolling forward and trying to help whoever I can. I mean, that's what this is all about. When it was brought to me and I was asked about it, I thought about it because I know I drew on my past on being on this podcast at one time and how in depth it got. And I knew it would be a lot of work, and I really sat down and I thought about it. And I'm just glad that everyone is happy with the decision. Everyone's coming out of this positively, and it's not like I don't feel like I'm coming in to replace someone. You know what I'm saying?
You can't replace Mal.
Because I could exactly. I could never replace Mal.
You're Townie. That's why you're Townie. I mean, first time we met, you were going out to Amazon Sundays to help out motherfucking CCAs that our union fucking abandoned. Like that's why I talked to you. You're doing the actual fucking work.
Well, I think what's cool too, and it gives the perspective, is I've been here since the CCA kind of really started with that first 2013, right? Yeah, I've been here since 2014, and I was there when Amazon really started and picked up, and it's interesting to see how it's kind of gone around from what it was and just reading the paper sheet to now this turn by turn on the scanner, I guess now, and I'm learning about all those things, and it's just like I'm like, yeah, no, I just kind of use my phone if I really didn't know where I was going. And people are like, oh, you use your phone. I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't want to be. Everyone's doing stuff on Sunday. I don't want to be out here all day. I mean, granted, we get paid by the hour, but it's
Yeah, Sundays
Sunday.
and Sundays.
Like,
The way they treat CCAs on Sundays is fucking abysmal. And the fact their union doesn't have representation on Sundays pisses me the fuck
well,
off.
I think that was one of the huge things too that I liked about what happened in my branch, and I gave a shout out on that pod. One of our stewards is a CCA, and I believe she's
Oh
going to
yeah,
be a
that's right.
PTF soon.
Was her name
So
Steph or something?
Steph, yeah, oh yeah,
Yes.
Steph's, you know, and it's great because there was mentioning of me being a steward at that time, and I'm like, if you need me, I'll step up, but take someone that really, really wants it, and at that time, Steph really wanted it and wanted to step up in that position, and
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
glad. I'm glad. I mean, granted, I'll step up if they ever call for me, but I'm not gonna go out and battle someone for a position. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of I'll be wherever you need me to be. If
And
you need me to be at
if the young buck is hungry and wants to do the damn thing, I think it behooves us to fucking support the young buck
well,
or
that's
new
it.
buck. I guess not necessarily young buck, new jack.
She, yeah, but she has the ear of the young people,
Mhm.
and it's when you have the ears of the young people and you're there on the Sunday grinding with them, it's like we said, it starts at the CCA level. The good habits start at the CCA level. And if I can do this and I can get my word across to other CCAs, and maybe me just talking about this or talking about how Steph as a CCA has really helped bring along the new crop of young carriers that we have,
Yeah,
then
we're gonna have to
you
interview
know
Steph at some point.
I will definitely reach out. Yeah, if she is interested and she hears this, yeah, I would definitely love to reach out and talk to her and get her out there because she's a rock star.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
So do we want final thoughts? Is that the thing? I know we're all fucking tired at this point.
Yeah, I think we've all put it out there, to be perfectly honest with you. Unless you guys have anything that you want to say last thoughts. I don't.
I am so fucking thankful for everything you've done, Mal, and you don't know how relieved I was when you said, "No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still gonna like hop in." And I was like, "Oh God, thank God."
Aw.
Because like yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this shit without you. And I know Townie and I got this shit moving forward. But I'm immensely grateful for you having everything that we've done working on this shit, and that I'm able to look back on and be really proud of. You were a very integral part of that, and it wouldn't have happened without. So I'm starting to cry. So let's move on to the next fucking thing. Uh,
Yeah, I have no more final thoughts. So, uh, I guess that's a wrap of this this episode and this year of the CCA Corner and my co-hosting. So, new year, new podcast, sort of. Not really, but kind of like in a way.
Yeah, so let me talk real quick about first of the year. What's going to be happening, right? So, in the most CCA Corner coded thing possible, in JT's first episode as a co-host, we're having a guest back on, Leo, who you guys may remember from episode 9. They were on.
And also the
yeah,
one who
they
asked us
were
about our top 5 desert island records and all that.
no, top three. We made a top five though.
Oh
But,
yeah, 3. Yeah, 3.
but yeah, no, Leo was if you guys remember, that was one of the interviews I did. Leo was uh, our CCA steward we had on for one of the first mailbag. I think that was the second mailbag episode we did,
I
second or
think you're
third.
right,
I can't
yeah.
remember.
I know it was episode 9.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming on, and they're going to talk about the joint statement on violence and behavior in the workplace from a CCA's perspective. And I think that's going to be a really, really valuable thing for everybody. And we're doing something else this next year as well. So our ad slots are going to be changing a little bit, not quite, but maybe a little bit. Maybe I don't know. I haven't decided yet exactly what we're going to do. And by I mean we. I'm tired. Leave me alone. We haven't really decided because we haven't talked about it. So next year we're going to be introducing the CLC candidates to you, right? They're going to come on for about 3 to 5 minutes each, and they're going to teach something. And our first one, I'll go ahead because it'll be just a few weeks by the time this episode comes out. Our first one's going to be Debbie Dixon. She's running for Region 2's National Business Agent. She's a very, very smart lady, and I've enjoyed every second that I've ever talked to her. But she's going to teach you about your reporting requirements, which I think is going to tie really, really well into our joint statement on violence behavior in the workplace episode. So stay tuned for that. Last thing I want to say before we're all going to bed, because it's late. This is 2 hours. This is our longest episode to date.
Oh.
And it's unfiltered too. This is a
Unedited.
raw episode.
Yeah, just crazy.
Next time we do this, we need a live audience.
Oh, good. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I want to say thank you to everybody for listening. I know typically I'm not on these episodes, but the feedback we get really means a lot. And I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to help people in whatever form it takes, right? Whether it be in my own branch, the hours that I put in working on stuff for that, or the hours I put in working on this, whatever form it takes. I really enjoy helping people because I had a lot of people help me along the way, and so I just want to continue that. So anyway, that's all I've got. Thank you for listening, and I won't talk to you for a while, but Morris and JT will talk to you very, very soon.
And I may hop in occasionally.
God, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yes.
Thank you guys for your support. Personally, I really appreciate it. If anybody ever needs to reach out to me, you know where to find me. I have Facebook. I'm on the Discord. You can email me, Mallory@formatearbitration.com. Yeah, I'll be around, and I love you all.
All right, love you guys. Solidarity forever.